years. Although Maine's long stretch of I-95 is more heavily traveled in the 21st century, traffic is still light after Labor Day, and budget cuts have forced the state to close many of the rest areas. The combined gas station and Burger King, where I consume many Whoppers, near the Lewiston exit was...
That was Stephen King. When I'm going to my appointments, I try to listen to something different and amusing. Whoop. Mail lady. And he's saying that a lot of these stories that are in the Bazaar Bad Dreams have been published before, but there are some ones that are new. Now here's the thing that really got me. It had a caveat, verbal, audible, that any correlation with real people and real events is purely coincidental. Which kind of goes back to what I always say, that truth is stranger than fiction. Truth is stranger than fiction. Excuse me. I want you to see the airport. That's a train station up there. So people catch a train to SeaTac Airport and get off at this stop. And see, can you see the people up there? I took a picture of myself up there when I was coming from California. That's where I was, up there. Moving on. I don't know if Stephen King has a story about flying. I know that I did see something about flights on Twilight Zone. You know, that thing that was trying to make the plane crash, and the guy went crazy. But that was Twilight Zone. That wasn't a Stephen King story. But it was a good one. I don't think about it when I got a flight. They're doing a lot of work at the SeaTac Airport. But it ain't nothing like LAX, baby. LAX is like a campus. It's huge. So I'm going over to Angle Lake. I don't know if you'll be able to see the lake from where I'm gonna be, but maybe. Where were you when I had no one to turn to? Where were you when my worst dreams were coming true? Where were you? I thought you'd come to my rescue. I like that song. It is from the soundtrack of The Shack. If you really love me like nobody else, why was I going through hell? could you miss me with my hands in the air? Thought you were listening. Oh, I thought you'd be there. Where were you when I had no one to turn to? Where were you when my worst dreams were coming true? Where were you? I thought you'd come to my rescue. I'm going this way onto the property. Alright. I'm going to turn it around for confidentiality's sake. I was chasing down my demons, and I fell into your arms. Where were you? You carried me, you brought me through. You carried me through. On your shoulders, black and blue. I never knew. Alright, is this it? I'm looking for the BMW. I may have to come back up. I think that was where I needed to turn. But that's okay. I'll sightsee a bit. I think I will. I don't know. I think I better turn. Let's show you the lake. If I can. Can you see it down there? That's the lake. Angle Lake. Anywho. Yeah, I should turn and go back around. When my worst fears were coming true, where were you? When I had no one to turn to, where were you? I thought you'd come to my rescue. Were you? Okay, I came by yesterday. I left a card, and so I'm following up. Let's see. And again, not at home. Not at home, not at home. Nope. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna make my notes. They be working, honey. Working.
One of those shut down. It stood abandoned, growing sadder and seedier behind the do not enter barriers marking its entrance and exit rooms. Hard winters had buckled the parking lot and weeds had sprouted through the cracks. One day, as I passed it, I recalled my old lost story and decided to write it again, because the abandoned rest area was a little farther south than the dreaded Mile 85. I had to change the title. Everything else is pretty much the same, I think. That turnpike oasis may be gone, as are the old Ford wagon, my old girlfriend, and many of my old bad habits. But the story remains. It's one of my favorites.
Mile 81. Read by Thomas Sadowski.
1. Pete Simmons, 07 Huffy. "You can't come," his older brother said. George spoke in a low voice, even though the rest of his friends, a neighborhood group of 12 and 13-year-olds who styled themselves the Rip-Ass Raiders, were up at the end of the block waiting for him. Not very patiently. "It's too dangerous." Pete said, "I'm not afraid." He spoke stoutly enough, although he was afraid, a little. George and his friends were headed up to the sand pit behind the bowling alley. There they'd play a game Normie Theriot had invented. Normie was the leader of the Rip-Ass Raiders, and the game was called Paratroops from Hell. There was a rutted track leading up to the edge of the gravel pit, and the game was to ride your bike along it at full speed, yelling "Raiders rule" at the top of your lungs and bailing from the seat of your bike as you went over. The usual drop was 10 feet or so, and the approved landing area was soft, but sooner or later someone would land on gravel instead of sand and probably break an arm or an ankle. Even Pete knew that, although he sort of understood why it added to the attraction. Then the parents would find out, and that would be the end of Paratroops from Hell. For now, however, the game, played without helmets, of course, continued. George knew better than to allow his brother to play, however. He was supposed to be taking care of Pete while their parents were at work. If Pete wrecked his Huffy at the gravel pit, George would likely be grounded for a week. If his little brother broke an arm, it would be for a month. And if,
That's going to be
God
it for
forbid,
now.
it was his neck,
I'll do another review as I listen to more of the stories. There's a lot of them. Okay.
He loved the little cop.
I don't have a favorite yet.
Just
And it's still
hang out
raining.
here, George said. "We'll be back in a couple of hours." "Hang out with who?" Pete asked morosely.